this is something that no one will ever get to try. You can see how much more oak influence you're getting in your VO.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm going to text Mark to get him over.
Yeasty.
4,500 litres of whiskey is going to be going into this blend. Okay. So all these barrels here, these are virgin oak barrels. Once used American bourbon.
Sorry, which ones are these?
These were virgin oak casks.
Oh, virgin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when we're using things for like, we're using rye for our maple cask, double oaked, we'll use probably mostly once used American bourbon casks, rye for that, versus using virgin oak. So like, I like to say the virgin oak stuff for really fun things, like the signature rye, as opposed to going to our commercial blends.
Okay.
This area is kind of more of a staging room. We'll go back near where it's warm.
These are all the virgin oak, and these are the
once used American bourbon. Well, technically now twice used American bourbon.
Okay.
We've used them for rye before they were put in.
So you'll use a couple of times?
Yeah, typically speaking, I only like to use barrels twice.
Oh, okay.
Brand new, or if they've been once used American bourbon, so I'm getting that character.
Yeah.
The biggest thing with casks is you're always getting the influence of the previous fill, and you lose that after multiple times. So if I use that cask again, I'm not going to get any bourbon influence on my whiskey. But again, still great storage, but you're not getting all the, I guess, the flavour from the barrel that you would have. If you look at a graph of, I think I've shown you this one before, but if you're looking at a graph of, if you look at a graph like that with your oak influence and then the age, you can see how much more oak influence you're getting in your VO versus your once used American bourbon. So all those, they're from like whiskey lactones, like all those vanillins and stuff like that. You're getting that from virgin oak. You're not going to get that from AB. And then when that cask is used again, you're going to be going like this every time, and it's going to be getting less and less and less and less flavour from those barrels. So like the bigger guys in Canada, when they're doing this, we're getting more, and even to some extent what we use when we store some of our corn spirit, you're going to get more like this because they're multi-use barrels. They could be 100 years old.
Oh, okay.
The bigger guys only will get rid of the barrels when they won't hold liquid anymore. That's when it disappears. So whenever we do a blend, these are our scales here, we blend up in these tanks here. That there right now is most of the rye, and then we'll add water to that, and it will get to roughly 6,000 kilograms, and then that'll be 6,400 litres.
And with the rye that you released, what's going to be the ABV on it?
50%.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So it's higher than what your others have been.
Yeah, and it was partly due to the fact that just the rye that we're using, we don't distill as high as what the corn spirit goes. The higher you distill, the less likely you are to get, well, you're actually distilling out any of the instabilities in the whiskey disappear. So typically speaking, if a whiskey is still that high, you can proof it down to 40% and you won't get any flock formed or any protein hazes or anything. I think our rye does a lot better at a higher proof. When I've compared it at like cask at 64 to even down to 40%, I find that it just doesn't hold as well. The flavours kind of disappear and it's a bit more disconjointed. And I think that's what people need to look at with whiskey more often, is that it should be about balance, not about what marketing tells you that this product should be, because realistically some things just don't work.
Well, if you need tasters, just let me know.
But this is something that no one will ever get to try, which is the signature rye at cask strength.
Okay.
This is before any water. Come for you, sir.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Just drink it from the tap.
I'm just blown away by how delicious that is.
And that's at 63, 64, and I can almost guarantee you that no one in Canada is producing rye of that quality at that ABV without it being ripping your teeth out.
Yeah.
Because rye is spicy. It's hot.
Yeah.
Whereas this just doesn't drink that hot. And the oats.
So once you get that down to 50, that's going to be, it's the word you're not supposed to use, but it's going to be smooth. And taste, like, it's
a word you're not supposed to use, but when I hear people say it, I'm happy because it is the predominantly used descriptor in whiskey is smooth. So
I still can't believe how good it is.
Yeah. You guys want to come pop some bungs?
Yeah.
Okay. So right here.
Yep. And just reef it straight in the air. Straight up.
Fail, it'll be even better.
Hey!
You ready for this? Am I hired?
We got one more. I was going to say. Seems like fun, but if you've got to do 130 of them, it's not so much fun.
Yeah. So how often are you checking these and tasting them?
Once a year.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of distilleries won't even do that. So we try tastings every year. When I took over the program, no one had tried a thing. So my first mission was to make sure we tried everything.
Oh, that's right, yeah. How many did you go through again?
We went through like 1,600 barrels and we marked that first year, maybe 1,500, 1,600 barrels. Also, I find it extremely difficult to taste something at 20% to then tell me that I want to release it at 55. That doesn't make sense to me. This is what's coming off the still today. That's oats.
Oh, that's the oat?
So that's
This is the oat.
so that's day 0 oats. So
Okay.
that's distilled today. So that's before going be roughly 64, 65.
Yeah.
I think it was coming off the still at when I took a sample. So
Pretty good on its own.
I know it's not bad, eh?
And that's back at the
Distillery, yeah.
distillery. You
So-
do everything there.
Yeah, everything
On
there.
those, the column and the pot still.
Yeah, we do have other distilleries that we work with that
Okay.
contract out only for our corn spirit. We just don't have the capacity down there. I mean, we originally started with a very, very small ambition to be a relatively small craft distillery.
Yeah.
And then end of 2016, when we launched the red cask, it went bananas. It just took off. You can't have as much electronic stuff in here.
This is special.
Now smell that when you walk in. Just wet whiskey wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually written the liquid type here and the barrel type there, and the date that it went into when it went into cask. But yeah, lots of rye in here.
Yeah.
And then also as well, you'll notice that it is actually cold in here.
Yeah.
And the reason is that the liquid's cold. This whole warehouse holds 800,000 litres of whiskey. There'll be people in Canada who'll tell you that we've got the best environment for aging whiskey because it gets extremely cold in winter and can get to you 30 degrees in summer.
Yeah.
It's true, if a barrel was sitting there on its own, not surrounded by anything, you go to some of the bigger warehouses that hold 25,000 barrels.
Yeah.
Do you think that barrel in the middle is changing temperature over the course of the year?
No,
it's not.
exactly
It's staying at 5 degrees constantly. So we have a really great portfolio currently on our entry-level stuff, and I think what's coming in these casks and what's around, that's going to be really exciting.
And that's the thing, like, so for whiskey enthusiasts,
Yep.
I'll tell someone, oh, you know, we're going to be going to Gretzky or do some behind the scenes, and they're like, I've tried it, I won't do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
yep.
you need to try the new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So the first step of this whole process is taking the heads off, obviously. So he'll take both heads off each end to be able to plane it. So you can see here the red wine finished there, and then now this has been planed.
He's been playing it.
So we plane with the grain rather than going against, because if you're going against the grain, you end up ripping up the capillaries of the wood.
Much more, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can see the barrel would sit in here.
Yep.
It actually gets lifted up. It's got a little kickstand to get it off there, and then we've got a little pneumatic lift to get up there. So for this one here, so you can see all the little teeth on there. So yeah, really simple. Literally, we'll put it on there. He'll have this go through the center of the barrel.
Yeah.
So he just comes down and planes it, then up, spin the barrel, go again. On the far left, that's just got the wine on it. The next one's of what he's just planed off.
Yeah.
The next one's a light toast, medium plus, heavy toast, and a char 3 and 4.
It's so fantastic. Fantastic.